Could the world be on the precipice of a tragedy beyond words? This is the question that haunts many as they observe the escalating tensions in Rafah, Gaza. In recent developments, the United Nations has issued a stark warning of potential massive loss of life and atrocity crimes if Israel proceeds with an assault on Rafah in southern Gaza. The situation in Rafah is already dire, with over 1 million people sheltering there and facing displacement, disease, and starvation. An assault, therefore, could exacerbate an already critical humanitarian crisis. This grim prediction sparked by the Israeli forces' strike on a residential building in Rafah, which has stoked fears of a larger assault. The UN has called for the prevention of further escalation of violence, particularly during the holy month of Ramadan. It emphasizes the importance of upholding international law to prevent further atrocities, condemning violence from both sides. Yet the threat of an assault looms large, casting a shadow of uncertainty over Rafah. In response to the escalating tensions, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has called for the protection of civilians in Gaza and Israel. Blinken is engaging in diplomatic efforts across the Middle East and beyond to prevent further escalation of the conflict. Yet, as Israel orders half of Gaza's population to evacuate in anticipation of a ground assault, the challenges remain due to border closures and aid disputes. The U.S. is emphasizing the importance of minimizing civilian harm and ending the cycle of violence between Israel and Hamas. Meetings and discussions are ongoing to address the humanitarian crisis and prevent further civilian casualties. However, the question remains, will these efforts be enough to prevent a full-blown catastrophe? Israel's impending offensive in Rafah raises concerns about the humanitarian situation, potential disruptions to aid operations, and the safety of civilians. Global leaders, including the U.S. and European countries, have expressed alarm and urged Israel to prioritize civilian protection and seek a sustainable ceasefire. South Africa has even taken the issue to the International Court of Justice, questioning whether Israel's actions may breach previous court orders. In conclusion, the situation in Rafah, Gaza, is critical. The United Nations warns of potential massive loss of life and atrocity crimes if Israel proceeds with the assault. The U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken calls for the protection of civilians, engaging in diplomatic efforts to prevent further escalation. Global leaders are expressing alarm and urging Israel to prioritize civilian protection. The world watches in trepidation, hoping for a peaceful resolution to the escalating crisis in Rafah, Gaza.